It's Thursday night in the UK and P2P is live. Hi there, my name is Mark Smith. I am Group Managing Director of People to People in the UK and Australia and Frog Recruitment in New Zealand. Yes, it's Thursday night, and I can't think of a better time to talk about jobs and employment throughout the UK, and with a couple of opportunities with our affiliate companies in Australia and New Zealand. So we've got a packed broadcast for you today. We've got our stat of the week, of course, and this week I thought we'd look at it was a stat released from the ONS this week about sickness in the UK and how that compares and absences for sickness over the last few years. So we'll take a look at that. We've also got a pre-recorded piece with Amandine from our Perth office in Australia about hybrid working in 2023. So we'll take a look at that. We've got jobs here in the UK. We've got jobs in Australia and New Zealand. And of course, we've got the results of last week's Twitter poll, which is, do you think it's harder to find work now than last year? So we'll bring all that to you. So let's jump into the stat of the week. So this week's stat of the week is the sickness absent rate in the UK in 2022 as compared to, as you can see here on the diagram, from 1996. And what a big jump in 2022. Now, and it's quite interesting actually, because with COVID, the ONS does give us a warning that you should, when comparing total days lost in 2020, for example, because of the furlough. But here are the main points from this particular graph. The sickness absent rate, that's the percentage of working hours lost because of sickness or injury, rose to 2.6 in 2022, and that's an increase of 0.4 percentage points from 2021. And it's the highest it's been since 2004, when it was 2.7%. So that means that an estimated 185 million working days were lost because of sickness or injury in 2022 in the UK. So this level was a record high, but the number of days lost per worker at 5.7 was not. So the common reason for sickness absence was minor illness, accounting for about 29% of occurrences, and all age groups experience increases in their sickness absence rate. So, and this is interesting, and then when I read this out, I know that some people probably are going to comment on this, and because we can see your comments, by the way, on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn live. So if you do have any comments, I prefer not what I'm about to say, but generally, then we can see them in real time. So groups with the highest rates of sickness absence in 2022 included women, older workers, those with long-term health conditions, and interestingly for me, I thought anyway, was people working part-time and people working in care, leisure, or other service occupations. So it is quite an interesting blip at the end there for 2022. What are your thoughts? I'd love to see or hear your comments. Not now, not while I'm live, because I don't want to respond to them. But I'd love to see them, some sort of chatter going on on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn as well. That's it for this week's Stat of the Week. Couple of hot jobs for the week here in the UK. Now, we've actually seen this particular job previously, and we thought we'd mention it again because we're finding it difficult to find somebody. There is a talent shortage in the UK at the moment. So here's this one, which is a senior FF&E designer. It's based in London, paying £28 to £35 per hour, where you're collaborating with the project team to develop FF&E concepts that align with the overall design vision and project goals. You're researching source materials, finishes, and furnishings. You need to have proven experience as an FF&E designer for hospitality projects and a strong knowledge of materials, finishes, and furnishings. If you don't know what an FF&E designer is, it's not going to be the right job for you. So please jump on this one. Hannah Scanlon is the consultant that you need to speak to in our London team, hannah.scanlon@peopletopeople.co.uk. You can actually apply for these positions by simply clicking on the link in the comments there. Now, I'm hesitating here a little bit because we do have Scott on LinkedIn who's left us a message, and he said, "Hi, I'm based in New Zealand. I'm looking to work in the UK on a working holiday visa. Can I apply for jobs?" Absolutely, Scott. Just click on the link. I'll get in touch with our London team straight away. And if these jobs that you're seeing are not quite right, then make sure that you chat to the team in London, and they can help you out. Here's the next position. And it's a logistics coordinator, also based in London, so £26,000 to £30,000 per annum. Your responsibilities are carefully picking, labelling, condition reporting of client orders for the UK and export, building wooden export quality crating for safe transportation, and delivering and installing furniture, lighting, and fine art objects on site. So it's an interesting role. You need to have experience in packaging, logistics, and installation for export, particularly for these delicate lighting and furniture type products. Sam Tilby is the consultant you need to speak to in our London team. That's sam.tilby@peopletopeople.co.uk. And Scott, you're watching. Sam actually is Kiwi, and he's based here in our London team. Okay, that's it for this week's hot jobs in the UK. Okay, here's our, we've got some technical difficulties there. Our man in the background, Jacob, he's back from holidays. He's based in our Auckland office and he's assisting us here in the UK. And clearly he's had too many beers whilst he's been away. So here's this week's first job in New Zealand, actually, and it's a customer service administrator based in Christchurch. That's in the South Island in Canterbury. And what they're looking for here for $26 an hour is somebody who is liaising with a range of contractors, so support workers and caretakers, scheduling contractors and building and maintaining relationships. You need to have experience in a call center environment or customer service and clear and concise communication skills. Shav Neal is the consultant that you need to speak to from our sister company, Frog, in recruitment in New Zealand. That's shavneal@frogrecruitment.co.nz, or simply hit apply now. So I can also say we've had another comment on LinkedIn from Shalini saying that she is currently in Canada looking for a job in Australia, and she's in a finance and accounting professional with 8 years experience. Shalini, we can certainly help you out in Australia. We're about to show you a video of a customer service role in Western Australia. That's clearly not right for you, but you can actually get in touch with the consultants in our Sydney team. Really, the question for you is, do you have the working rights? We can't assist you in getting those working rights at the moment. And I know there's also there's not a lot of clarity right now around the visa requirements. The government is actually going through a huge change. There's a major announcement about it in Australia yesterday. But anyway, best thing to do is get in touch with somebody in our Sydney team, probably, if that's the port you wanted to enter. We've got a very strong accounting and finance team. Bianca Luck is probably the person to speak to in that office. Anyway, here's another opportunity in Australia, and it is a customer service role in Perth, and after that we'll roll the video, which is about hybrid working from Amandine in our Perth office as well.
With a global presence, this company has been voted one of the best places to work in Australia and are the leader in the medical technology field. They are currently looking to hire a full-time customer service representative on a temporary basis, but with the opportunity to go permanent and grow your career into other areas of the business. The initial assignment will be roughly 6 months. So more about this role. This role will be focused on answering hospital staff, sales representatives, and customer service personnel queries over the phone. Expect around 25 calls a day. It is not a high volume call center, but would require to action administration tasks following those phone calls and deliver high quality customer service over the phone. You'll be part of the customer service team, but what is in it for you? Work from home flexibility, 3 to 4 days per week. Be part of an amazing team with a very strong culture. Work for a global company rated one of the #1 employer of choice in 2007 and the #2 spot in 2018. This could be a great first-time experience in the medical and biomedical field, and look, you can start ASAP there too. If this interests you, to apply online, please click on the appropriate link on the page. Thank you.
Now, we're here actually to talk about this hybrid working trend. Now, it's not hardly a trend these days. Everybody's been doing it over the last little while. But you've got some observations, so share those with us.
Yes, so I think it's nothing new. Hybrid work has been around, and especially since COVID, it's the new normal. I will say everyone is asking for some flexibility, but what is new is that people are now asking for flexibility around the hours more so than the flexibility on where they want to work. So they're asking, for example, to be able to finish early, to be able to pick up the kids at school, but also for other commitments, might be volunteering or a hustle job or passion that they have. And it's getting more and more important, or work, for example, 3 or 4 days a week rather than a full week. So that's the trend that we notice here. A lot of people asking for that flexibility, saying that we do have other priorities. I think at the moment people are asking for more money and bonuses in general than really that flexibility to move for a new job.
Yeah, are you seeing, it's really interesting to see that there's a shift with hours and hybrid working, so working from home and the office and the hours. So it's that combination now. Are you seeing people trade off one for the other? So they say, well, okay, well, I'd like more flexibility in my hours, but I'm happy to go into the office more, or vice versa?
I think yes. What people are asking is some kind of flexibility from the employer. So it's just not a one-way street. This is the job and the hours and where you're going to work now. They like to be able to have some flexibility. And even though, for example, we might start a conversation with working from home, sometimes they're actually willing to go in the office every day if they're able to leave at 4, for example, but start a bit early. So it's a bit of a concession.
Are you ever seeing anybody saying, or are they bold enough to say, well, if you want me to work these hours, then I need to have an extra $10,000? Or are they trading off the flexibility for more money?
Not really, honestly. They don't, or they ask for both. We have candidates ask for everything. But no, not really. When they do ask for that flexibility, which we discussed with them as soon as we met them, so there is no further down the track, things that they disappointed about. We discussed that at the beginning, and when they say it's important to them, they're usually not that flexible. So if they need to, arrange and pick up the children, they can't, or they need to organize and pay someone to go and do that. So we just discussed that at the beginning, and then we are fine. But what is new is we see people will accept. On our latest market survey, people say they will accept work without any flexibility at all, 72%, while last year it was about 55%. So people are more willing to accept jobs with no flexibility.
Probably accept jobs with no flexibility, but more money, isn't
exactly.
it? That's what the world is like these days. Well, if somebody wants to have a chat to you about the market in Perth or just generally about flexibility, how should they get in touch?
They can call me. It's the easiest way. They can come and see me in the office, and they can email me as well, whatever is easier.
Fantastic. And all the details are on the screen there. Fantastic. Thank you, Amandine. We'll see you again next time. And I look forward to enjoying the weather over in Perth when I'm over there soon. Okay, thanks. Thank you. Okay, and that was from last week, chatting about the very changing world of hybrid working. Now, we've just had a comment from Ilham on LinkedIn once again, and she's based in Morocco, and she's looking for whether she can apply to these roles that we have in Australia, New Zealand, and the UK. The answer to that question is really about your working rights. We cannot assist with your working rights. If you do have a visa for the UK, New Zealand, or Australia, a working holiday visa, then yes, we can help and we can facilitate in getting that job before you actually arrive. So I hope that helps and answers your question there. But now let's jump into this week's Twitter poll and all the results from last week's Twitter poll, which is with unemployment remaining steady at the moment, do you think it's easier or harder right now to get a job? And in the UK, 70% said, you know what, it's getting harder. But still, 30% said no, it's still relatively easy to secure a position right now. From a recruitment agency perspective, where we are normally engaged either to access talent that is hard to find or for convenience, we're still seeing that there is a talent shortage in the UK right now. So it's interesting to see what you think, and you think that it's harder, 70%. Here's this week's poll, and this is really about getting people back to the office. Now, we've put in inverted commas there, forced. That's because, and if you're an employer watching this going, I don't force anybody back to the office, that's why we put those inverted commas there. So has your employer forced you back into the office? Yes, I'm now back full-time. No, they've introduced hybrid, or no, I'm working remotely completely. Vote now. What's your situation? At People2People on Twitter, at P2P, or People2People, I should say, on LinkedIn, and you can vote in both of those socials there for this one as well. Okay, that's it, everybody. Thank you again for joining us on Thursday night here on P2P UK Live. We'll do it all again next week.